My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, and a happy South Lake morning. You know, somebody asked me why I try to lower my voices because I don't want to blow Jay's ears out. Our first couple of weeks, Jay would do the mic check and I would come in and go, "Good morning," like a Good Morning Vietnam. And I could see him wincing over there. Are you appreciative that I try to tone it down a little, Jay?
Very much, sir. Very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's my random act of kindness today.
Much appreciated.
One of many. Hey, look, I have a great show. You know, it's really cool. We have a couple of great shows coming tomorrow. We're doing Homefront, and I have an organizer, Alicia Kay, is coming on, and she's going to teach us about organizing your home for the holidays. And maybe if you're getting ready to sell, how you can organize it a little bit better. Then on Friday, are we confirmed on our Friday guest? Les Alier, friend of the show, friend of the station, a longtime friend of our station owner, Jay, is coming on. He's got another event coming up. I'm looking forward to him. What's he going to talk about, Jay?
They're actually doing it's called Winter Wonder Slam. It's local pro wrestling. Les Alier, they're partnered with Corelli's downtown. They're going to have an event. It's helping Hannah Grace Homes. So instead of a price for the ticket, you actually just have to bring an unwrapped toy. So it's a toy drive, a fundraiser. And I believe it's this Saturday during the afternoon. I believe at 2 o'clock, but he's going to be on a Friday to talk all about it.
I'm really looking for... What Saturday? It's not this Saturday.
This coming.
It's this coming Saturday.
This coming
at 2
Saturday,
o'clock.
the 14th.
You'll be able to go check that out before all your Christmas parties. I don't know about anybody else, but I got some Christmas parties coming up. Actually going to be double downing both Thursday and Friday. What are you pointing at, brother?
Oh, no, I was going to...
Oh, okay. Yeah. What do we got for today? We got a great show for you. Today, we're going to talk... It is actually National Noodle Ring Day. You don't know what a noodle ring is? Well, I'm going to tell you. We're going to talk about A Christmas Carol, not the songs, the movie. We're going to talk about gifting. To spend or not to spend, that's on Cup of Joe. And then we'll be joined by Mason Reid. Mason Reid is a dear friend of mine. A brother in arms, quite a bit younger than I am, but he is also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. He has a service dog that is always with him in the business community. He's a great guy. He's a great businessman, young, hardworking dude. And his dog, Max, is a service dog and really a part of what he does. And we're going to talk to him about how did he get a service dog, why did he need one, the kind of reaction he gets in the community. And I'm really looking forward to this interview. I was really glad I was able to put it together for today. So it's a good time to remember others around you who may not be exactly like you, but may have reasons for being the way they are. So looking forward to this. We're going to hear from our family of sponsors, and when we get back, we're going to get started. So I'll see you in a minute.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the mortgage firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
Are you tired of having drugs or alcohol ruin your life? Do you need to get off pain pills, but still maintain pain relief? My office in Tavares has programs to help you. While not covered by insurance, program fees are affordable. My name is Alan Zupkin. I'm board certified and have helped thousands of patients achieve these goals. Please call me for further information.
And welcome back. Always so good to hear from our sponsors. Mary Rhodes, my dear, dear friend, Erica's Tea Room. Look, this is the time to get down to Erica's Tea Room. I think Eric is actually doing a Lion King soon. That may actually be this month, I think. Do you know when that is, Jay?
I'll have to double check.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the week. But we also had Dr. Alan Zubkin. Dr. Zubkin actually has a dear place in my heart. This country has a real problem with addiction, and we need all sorts of solutions, and he is providing one. And I'm glad that people like him are doing what they're doing because it gives some options. I'm a big fan of the 12-step programs, but we know a lot of rehabs just don't work. Some guys don't do well with 12-step programs. So I'm glad that there's an alternative. There's something that people can use to either help them with a 12-step program through the medical system. Just call Dr. Zubkin, see if maybe he can help you. If you know somebody struggling with an addiction or you yourself are. And we're back to Erica's Tea Room. This event, it's this weekend. It's this weekend. Lion King, 6 p.m.?
Yeah, Saturday the 14th at 6 p.m. So if you're not going to the Mineola Christmas Parade, stop on by Erica's Tea Room. She has an event. You do need to RSVP beforehand. Just let them know. Usually a 4-course meal, some activities, songs, games, all kinds of fun stuff. And
I see there, too, that she's doing Christmas at Erica's on Thursday the 19th. That'll be a great time, I'm sure. Erica always provides a good, well-rounded experience and a lot of fun. It's not just sitting down and eating. There's some time to be done. All right. That's enough of that. We're going to talk about noodle rings. What's a noodle ring? It's National Noodle Ring Day. Well, a noodle ring is a little tiny, you think, you got curly cues. I know some people call them corkscrews. You got all sorts of shapes of pasta. There is pasta that is a ring, and it's kind of like 2 elbow macaronis put together. However, that's not what a noodle ring is. When we refer to noodle ring, we are talking about a casserole made with noodles, generally in a bundt pan. Now, I think this is such a cool thing for this time of year. You can get recipes for this all over the internet, okay? Here's the best part about a noodle ring this time of year. Generally, you can flip them out and then decorate them. You can literally serve for dinner a Christmas wreath with a little bit of creativity. Okay, you can use some parsley on top of it. That one, I think, looks like that one's using egg noodles. I can't see that far, but I think that one's using egg noodles. But you could use all sorts of different kind of pastas and creams and sauces. This would be a fun thing to put on your dinner plate, on your Christmas table this year. And maybe you don't have to be so fancy. Quick and easy in the oven. I'm a fan of noodle. I'm actually probably going to try one of these sometime over the next couple of weeks. Actually, I'll probably try it the weekend of the 20th when my life calms down a little bit. Next few weeks, run. All right, I want to talk about A Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol, my absolute favorite movie of all time, including every other time of year. I love this story. The mean, awful guy, terribly cold dude, has an experience of perspective and then becomes this amazing guy. And as I talked about the movies yesterday, the transformations all come through some sort of experience that gives them perspective. There's all sorts of versions of the movie A Christmas Carol. A little piece of trivia. The reason the Disney family includes Scrooge McDuck is because they did a version of A Christmas Carol as cartoons. The character was so well loved, he got layered into the Donald Duck family. One of the things that I think is really the cool thing about A Christmas Carol is that eye-opening perspective, the things, the regrets, Christmas past, present, and future, all that he lost. Great. My two favorite Christmas Carol versions, George C. Scott and Patrick Stewart. They're actually modern versions. I like the old ones. They can be a little smarmy, a little Pollyanna. The transformations and the Scrooge character played by George C. Scott and Patrick Stewart, I think, are the best, bar none. My favorite, actually, Bob Cratchit character comes out of the Jim Carrey movie, which I think is played beyond anything anybody could have expected. The idea of a father who loses a son, and then Scrooge becomes a friend because he lost a son and saw the pain that created. I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to put down some of these stories. Make this part of your children's experience, just because it helps them. They might actually read the book. A little piece of trivia. The original, of course, this is based on a book by Dickens, Charles Dickens. And when Dickens actually wrote the book, there was no happy ending. In the original version, Scrooge did not change, and his publisher said, nobody will ever buy it. So he changed the story, and it has become one of the best loved stories of all time, particularly at Christmas, certainly a Christmas standard here in England. So I encourage you, put on a version, pick a version. I will say a close third to the two I just mentioned is called An American Christmas Carol, made for TV, stars Henry Winkler, and it was done in the mid-'80s as Scrooge, and takes place during the Depression in America. So it's really good. I suggest you check that out. All right, enough about A Christmas Carol. Gifting. This is Cup of Joe. We're going to continue with the gifting series this week. We talked about how to pick a gift. Okay. We talked about to wrap or not to wrap. Today I want to talk about to spend or not to spend. Okay. The whole idea of a Christmas gift is to give something, in my opinion, is to give something from your heart, is to the idea that you put something down, that you thought about what the other person would appreciate. I know so many people that get so stressed out because Christmas can be expensive, because they're out buying. But if you just take a little bit of time and put a little bit of thought, everybody has creativity. Okay, I was shocked when I learned to cook candy and I learned to cook fudge. And one year I was terribly broke, but I could afford the ingredients to make these things. And I had a very inexpensive source, I think, for containers, the little tins. And I made peppermint bark and peanut brittle and fudge. And so I put together these packages. I probably delivered them to the people in my life, probably 3 dozen packages. I was able to actually gift people I'd never gifted before. The whole thing might have cost me $20. And everybody that got one was so appreciative. Ask a mother, okay? Any mother of a child that has received a handprint in something, an ink handprint from their child, come home from either church or kindergarten, the mom will keep that gift forever. My point is, if you add a little bit of creativity, you can come up with some great Christmas gifts that don't necessarily have to cost you a lot of money. Don't make Christmas about the money. Make Christmas about how you feel about the person. Think about them. Think about what you can give of yourself. It's one of the reasons I believe handcrafted gifts, personal gifts made by somebody mean so much, is because you didn't just think about the person. You gave of yourself, of your time, of your thought, of your intention. So to spend or not to spend, it's up to you. But make some gifts yourself. Put your mind into it. You won't regret it, and neither will the person who you give it to. All right, moving on. When we come back, we're going to hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Mason Reid and his service dog and best friend, Max. I'll see you in a minute, and we'll hear that story.
50 West, pre-leasing now in Claremont. A first-of-its-kind commercial development in the Southeast. Contact us today to reserve your spot in this historic development. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Hello, my name is Michael Singh with Singh Insurance and Financial Services. Our goal is to build trust based on a clear understanding of how your insurance policy protects you, your family, and even your business. When was the last time you took a good hard look at your insurance coverage? Would you be open to the possibility of reviewing your policy with me? One review of your policy can save you valuable time and money. Call me today to set up a review of what may be available to you.
Burgerum, located in the Epic Theater shopping plaza on Highway 27, is the premier destination for gourmet burgers. Using only the freshest ingredients, Burgerum offers a variety of burgers, salads, wings, and a whole lot more. Beef, chicken, lamb, fish, and even veggie. Burgerum has something for everyone, no matter your dietary preference. Burgerum, millions of possibilities, endless combinations.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. Welcome back. I'm so glad to have my friend Mason Reid with me, brother in arms and fellow jarhead. Welcome, Mason. Good to have you. I would also like to welcome Max, is his service dog. Max is a part of Mason's family and his best buddy. Pretty close, right?
I'd certainly say so.
He's your right arm, right?
Yes, in more ways than one.
It's really funny. I think I was covering the parade, and the Marine Corps League came by, and somebody, or they were wearing a hat, and I called him a jarhead, and she leaned over to me and she went, I don't know if you should call somebody that, Joe. I mean, isn't that an insult? I said, not from another jarhead, it's not.
No, that's just another term of endearment.
That's right. Go ahead. Call me Leatherneck. I don't care. Call me something and you're not a jarhead. Well, that'll be a different story. So, anyways, I'm so glad to have you. We are joined by Mason Reid. He is obviously a Marine Corps veteran. He is the IT director and marketing director at BRP, which stands for Business Resource Partner.
Yes.
Through Business Resource Partner, they have a division that is a Veterans Resource Partner. It's an outreach to veterans that help veterans make the transition from the military to civilian life. He is a mentor in that program. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he was a big part of starting that at the company.
I certainly helped encourage it along the way, but...
And he is also currently a student at Lake Sumter College, going for his bachelor's degree in business management. Man, just like most Marines, you just have a lot on your plate. You don't know when to stop, do you?
It's a lifestyle choice at a certain point, and you just keep working, and you never know when to quit.
I was telling somebody, specifically about the hair and the beard, right? I said, the thing is, when you're 18 to 22 when you're in the Marine Corps, it's a very formative time in your life.
Indeed. Right?
And so you end up establishing these habits. And there are books been written about why that's the most important time in your life. There are books that have been written about this. And it's why I still today, I can't go more than 2 or 3 days without shaving. It's I feel like I have this big, huge thing. But it's lifestyle things as well, right? You have to get up early. You got to work all day.
Every morning I still wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I still stay up and do work until 10, 11 if it calls for it. And
there is no quitting time, right? You're always, even when you're not doing something, you feel like you should be. And
always.
that's something that's drilled into you as a Marine. Look, I brought you on to talk about Max because, I will give you a little bit of background here. I met Mason through the Chamber of Commerce, and one of the things that's unique about Mason is that Max is always with him. And so we were able to, probably a year and a half ago now,
Thereabouts.
entered into a deeper conversation at one of these functions, or after one, I think it was at a lunch thing, after one of these functions, about why he has the dog. And I thought it was quite unique because Mason fits into a category, a quickly increasing category of veterans that have been ignored. I know I was, with these same kinds of issues. Mason, tell us why. Give us a little bit of background of what led you up to needing a service dog.
So, as you said, I am a Marine Corps veteran. I did spend my 5-year enlistment. I was stationed in Cherry Point. Lovely place, lovely people, wonderful people to work with. But due to a series of events, I never actually deployed. But because of what happened, how it happened, and how it all just kind of stumbled together, I got diagnosed with a mental disorder, an anxiety disorder, and it falls into that category of invisible disabilities. People see it a lot more nowadays. One that stands out to me, besides my own type of disability, it's called POTS syndrome. It's essentially where the heart stops being able to pump enough blood to the brain for the person to function, and they'll just tip over for no apparent reason. And
now, that has nothing to do with marijuana,
no,
right?
it's 100%.
Want to be clear to the folks. I also want to, in a matter of clarification, Cherry Point is an air station, is a Marine Corps air station, and working at Cherry Point is a very highly stressful. Every position is very high stress. I believe that it's one of the places that the Marine Corps utilizes and trains drones from. They train a lot of pilots there. Everything you do, even the most lowly enlisted position, is very high pressure, and you have to be high achieving to even get there.
And that's also true. You could be said about across the Marine Corps. Every position is, because one of our mottos is every Marine is a rifleman.
Right.
Necessarily, we're not going to shoot every day, but we're all trained to be able to do that. And I personally worked right next to the flight line, so every now and then I get that tinnitus, the ringing in the ears. Mm-hmm. Always fun on top of everything else.
And that's actually a Marine Corps concept that becomes truer and truer and truer. You know, the line between the combat Marine that gets deployed and goes, is the pointy end of the spear, is more and more blurred as combat changes. Mm-hmm. I know guys, jarheads, who have maybe they weren't deployed to Iraq, but they were deployed to Greece, but everything they did had to do with Iraq, so they're still under that pressure. Even if they get deployed to Iraq and they're an office worker, you're under fire. You have to be ready. You take your rifle everywhere. So.
And I got lucky in the sense that I didn't get deployed, but I was trained by people that were returning from deployments, and I trained people that ended up going on to deployment. So I was lucky in that sense, but the pressures that we face every day still affect us.
So tell us, you mentioned a term, and I'd like to get a little bit of clarity on this. Talk about invisible disabilities.
So invisible disabilities are those medical situations that don't show up as obvious disabilities. Whereas an amputee, you could see that there's something wrong there. You can to a lesser extent, somebody that's blind, they have the cane, and it's obvious that they can't see. Whereas someone in my situation, I look normal, I act normal every day. Every normal day, I seem normal, and you would never imagine anything's wrong. But if something were to trigger my disability, I hate using that word, the trigger word, because it's got such a
negative connotation. Syndrome, right? Yeah.
But if I need Max, in my particular case, I need him available. I need him next to me. I need him, most of the time he just climbs in my lap, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need to go calm down somewhere. If I didn't have that, I would be as useful as a desk in many situations, just because.
Maybe not even.
Maybe less so, just because my disability doesn't show up in the obvious sense, so I can't show it.
This is a really important concept, because I know that when I got back, I had issues, and right. they were ignored. It was very much. PTSD is that people don't really understand today. I think because we've been at war for 17 years, people don't understand that PTSD has been around since World War I and before. It's that we've only started to recognize it. And for the longest time, if a guy said, hey, I'm out 10 years and I'm still having issues, they were really treated as well, suck it up, man. There's nothing wrong with you. Get over it,
And even people that haven't deployed, people who haven't served in the military that have issues with depression and anxiety, it's the same way. You tell them, hey, go take a nap, rest, relax, and recover, and you'll be all right. We wouldn't treat somebody with the flu like that. No. So what's the difference?
And then we wonder why they get upset. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like, you're just overtired, or your sugar is low. So an invisible disability generally falls under the purview of a mental health issue.
More often than not, that's what people associate.
So tell us a little bit about the VA process. I'm sure, like you said, if you show up at the VA and you're missing an arm, it's obvious they need to help you.
Versus,
is it harder with the mental health issues? Is it?
So I actually took several right steps when I was still active duty. I was receiving mental health counseling. I had diagnosed issues. Well, I had issues that were documented when I was still serving. So when I transitioned to the VA coverage and the VA care, they were able to look at everything I had for the last 2 years and say, yes, this is what it is. We can officially diagnose you now. That's more because the military doesn't want to say that anything's wrong with you while you're in. But that's a whole other issue.
Right, yeah.
So
because they know they're on the hook if you have an issue when you're in.
So for me, it only took about 3 months of post active service to have the psychologist certify that I needed a service animal to help me continue normal everyday function. Now, that doesn't happen in every case. Sometimes it takes years, but the VA has gotten significantly better compared to when you got out. And it's even made strides since I've gotten out, with the Mission Act being one of the most recent improvements.
We're gonna go to a break. I want to hear from my sponsors. We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about Max and how he came about and his impact on the community and on your. So stick around. This is really important. And actually, Mason is going to fill us in on the 3 questions every business person should know in dealing with a service animal. So don't go away. We'll be right back. See you in a minute. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.
West, now pre-leasing 28,900 square feet of commercial, professional office space in Claremont. Conveniently located on Highway 50, less than 2 miles from the Turnpike. A first of its kind in the Southeast, this pristine building creates the perfect blend of nature and modern design. If you seek a high-level image that matches your business, reserve your space today. 50 West, unique, quality, Class A. For more information on leasing, contact Ashley Punn at 407-403-4165. Karen Arlano at 407-948-0767. Or visit lease@50west.com.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Justin.
We would just like to wish you a very happy holiday from your CBD store, Claremont.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors. And welcome back. We are joined today by Mason Reid, a Marine Corps veteran and a local businessman, and his service dog, Max. And we're actually really happy to have Max with us. He's very calm today, but this is kind of what he's supposed to do. He is Mason's service dog. Tell us about how Max came along. Now, he isn't the typical service dog where you had Max already, and you turned him into a service dog, correct?
That is correct. So the typical routine where it comes to getting a service animal, specifically a service dog, is you'll go to a doctor. They'll say, hey, you need a service dog for this specific thing, and then they'll recommend you to, I know there's several different agencies that help train and provide service animals across the country. I got Max as a pet originally, but through my time in the military, he started showing all the signs of just knowing when something was wrong, helping me through it. So I actually reached out to, I have some friends in the community, V&H Canine. The trainer there, V, he actually was in the Air Force.
It's V and H Canine.
Yes.
Spelled out. I think we have their Facebook page up. Great local business, training service dogs and all sorts of other things, I'm sure.
Yes, they do boarding and training and general obedience stuff. They're wonderful people. But V, he's actually an Air Force veteran, and he trained Max for me. So there was that local connection that I was luckily able to develop, and he saw Max the first time, talked to me, understood what I was going through, and he's like, yeah, he seems to be doing all that, but he needs the public access training, which differs service animals from therapy animals from emotional support animals.
I want to get to that, but I want to ask first, part of the training of Max was the training of Mason, though, right?
Yes.
I mean, what was that like? You said it was kind of like an outpatient. It's not like you had to live there.
Yeah.
You worked out of your home, and you guys went every day, or you went to training sessions?
So Max actually stayed with V for, it was about 3 months, depending on the animal. That time varies, how easy they are to train, how hard, what they're being trained for, depends on, the individual. So Max was there for 3 months. What I had to learn was, just like everyone else, when he's working, he's at work as much as we are.
Right.
So you don't distract him, you don't pet him, you don't reach out to him, you let him do his job.
It's not cuddle time, right?
It's not cuddle time. And if I were to take his vest off, he would be running around like a normal dog. He laying on the couch, playing with toys. But as soon as he puts the vest on, it's just like us. When we go to work, we go to work. So
it's kind of cool. I saw that this morning when you were getting out of the truck. Max was all over the place in the back of the truck. The minute you put the vest on, he calmed right down.
Mm-hmm.
He was like you said, he was at work. He was focused. He's a jarhead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, just really quickly, the training was not paid for you out of pocket, right? The service picked that up.
No, in this particular case, I did actually pay for it out of pocket. Sometimes it is covered by the VA. Sometimes nonprofits will cover the training. It just really depends on your situation. Like I said, I was lucky. I was able to make a connection with V, and he was able to work with me. But once again, it's really situationally based.
So tell us the difference between, there are 3 levels, and I want to say also for clarity, Mason suffers from an anxiety disorder, which is a lower form of PTSD.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, so don't think that just because he wasn't deployed doesn't mean he wasn't. His disability is, and again, we both hate that word. His challenge is service connected, So give us an idea of what the differences are. You were telling me the ADA has specific codified definitions, right?
So according to the ADA, the American Disabilities Act, there's service animals that provide a specific service for their handler. That is the ultimate distinction between the 3, is they provide a distinct service. For people with seizures or blind, you think of seeing eye dog, somebody that can open a door. They provide a recognizable service. The next level,
that's the seeing eye dog is the typical.
But also more than that, they have training for public access. So if you can see Max on the dog cam, you see he's laying under the table right now. He's not actually doing anything, and most places people forget he's there. That is the biggest...
Yeah, it's easy to forget. It's funny. Sometimes I'll see you somewhere, and I'll think, oh, where's Max? And then I'll realize, that I just kicked him, because I'm sitting next to you.
So that's one of the biggest differentiators, is they provide a unique service to their handler. A therapy animal can be just about any animal. You've seen therapy horses, you've seen therapy birds, therapy dogs, therapy cats. They help in situations where you need someone to like lean on for walking while you're going through like physical therapy, but they don't provide a unique specialized service. And then the lowest, I hate.
So the specialized the service dog has public access typically.
Anywhere that I can go, a service animal can.
Okay. So a support animal is different.
Yes. So a support animal, an emotional support animal, is something that you hear talked about a lot. They help you feel better, but they don't have any specialized training. They don't have any. You still might have medical need for them, but they're not something you would want to take in public.
They're basically your pet.
They're your pet, but more than.
Right. And what about therapy?
A therapy pet is therapy animal is something that can go like into a hospital to help, Make-A-Wish people with terminal illnesses, or somebody that just went through a significant surgery, to help them heal, recover.
Is there some special training with that?
To a lesser extent, they still have to behave in public, but they don't provide a specialized service for an individual, which is kind of how the ADA.
So it sounds like you have the service dog, which is the most highly trained.
Yes.
The therapy animal has some training,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a service animal, but it has a specific purpose. And a support animal is really the least trained of the three, and is more like just, the pet makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So where do we register these animals?
So actually, there's no place to register the animal. I know this leads into the business owner questions, but it comes down to what your doctor says. If your doctor says that you need a service animal, then you have paperwork from your doctor specifically saying that, yes, you need a service animal. The reason there's no registration is because when Max's time comes and he needs to retire and he moves across the Rainbow Bridge, I'll still need a service animal. Just it won't be Max anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So registering Max to be a service animal defeats the
Means
purpose.
you'd have to change the registry when that time comes. We had talked about, and we've referred to it a couple of times now, the 3 questions business owners. I know that it frustrates a lot of business owners. I used to be in the restaurant industry, and it'd drive you up the wall, the lady that comes in with 3 cats in her bag and says, well, they're my support animals, and they got no vest. They've got, they're obviously, she's feeding them from the table. The guy next to her table is sneezing his tail off because he's allergic, and they typically make messes, that a service animal won't. How does a business owner deal with that? What are the questions they can ask?
So there are specific questions listed under the ADA that you can ask without any repercussions. The first, the most simple, is it a service animal? Yes, no. What is the specific service that he provides you? Now, in that question, they don't have to provide a specific answer. Something like, for me and Max, I would say he notifies me in case of a medical event. It can be that general of a response, but it is still a response. And then third, can I see your doctor's letter? There's not a specific letter. It's something from the doctor signed off saying that, yes, this person needs a service animal for a
So that
condition.
really is the certification, is the letter from the doctor. Do you carry that with you?
I have a digital copy just because it's a lot easier than carrying a
Yeah,
piece
if somebody
of paper.
wants, of course, we have phones. Let me ask, how should people? Now we talked about the 3 questions, which I want to go over those one more time, really, really quickly. The first one was,
Is this a service animal?
is this a service animal? The second one is,
What is the service they provide?
okay, so is it a service animal? What service are they providing you? And can I see your doctor's note?
Yes.
Great. So how should people react? I mean, let's say I'm not a business owner, but I see you in a restaurant. Max is a beautiful animal. I know the vest says "do not pet," but some people don't read.
Yes.
Is a service animal typically going to have a vest?
Typically, and the vest varies. There's no one size fits all. There's not a prescribed, this is what they have to wear.
There's not a uniform, so to speak,
Yes.
of vest.
And there's not badges either, for that matter. Max has a full body one because he got asked, "Can I pet him? Is he a service dog?" a lot. So I figured a bigger was better.
Right. Yeah.
A best thing to do is ask the handler. If the handler says, "Hey, please don't touch them," just ignore them. Just ignore the dog.
Yeah, and don't get pissy about it.
They're providing a service. I know you'll see a lot of times on the news that the service dog was distracted and then they had a seizure and nearly died.
Right.
The distracting the service dog is taking them away from their work.
You know, we're running out of time here. There's like 19 other subjects I want to cover on this. I do want to ask one question really, really quickly, and just please a brief answer, is just so people understand how highly trained Max is. Does he respond before you realize you're in an event?
Yes, as long as if it's a normal, like everyday situation, he can respond up to about 10 minutes before I experience an episode.
So I've actually seen that and didn't understand it completely, but have noticed that you go. I mean, once I get to know you, it's more obvious that you're taking the dog out. That's probably for you.
Yes.
As crazy as it sounds, my wife has done that service for me for years. A wife can like register my emotional state, and she can pull me out of some place before I lose my mind. Which I've done before. Let me ask how you deal with being in business with a service dog. And again, we're down to like 1 minute, so
there it is.
There it is.
So being in business with Max, it's just like going to work with any other coworker. You go, you each have your specific goals, tasks, and responsibilities, and as long as you treat it like that, it's easy.
Do you have to explain to customers or people you're in business with?
Sometimes people are a little more familiar than others, and the same way that you would treat other people with respect, you want to treat the service animal with respect. But I'm not going to keep them.
I love that.
That's uncomfortable.
I love that. Have you ever had to turn down business because somebody wasn't comfortable with Max?
I've never actually had to.
Because you weren't comfortable with them not being comfortable with Max?
I've never personally experienced that. Because as a business owner, we do have that 3 questions. You can ask somebody with a service animal to leave if they are being disruptive. So don't feel as though you can't do anything.
Yeah, you don't have to put up with everything.
Yeah,
right?
So it's one of the beauties of it.
Mason, you've been great. Max, you've been great. Let's get another shot of Max before we go, Jay. Oh, so he's not down in his little spot.
No,
it's okay. He's concerned about his owner. I really want to thank you, Mason. I really appreciate
Thanks
you
for
coming
having
by. Look, if you know somebody that should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, a lot of people have cool stories. You just got to take 2 minutes to listen to it. And if you hear of somebody, you know of somebody, please reach out to me. Jay has the information up. I respond to all of it. If you know somebody that should be branding their business here, and I'm telling you, if you have a business, you should be branding it on South Lake TV. Finally, I will remind you that there is greatness inside you. And as this, I love you, Mason, because Mason has found a way to use the greatness inside him. Some of us can't obviously show that greatness, but he has found a way. He has overcome. That's a jarhead in you. Adapt and overcome, right?
Every day.
He has found a way to use the greatness inside him, a way that he can share it with others to bring the greatness out of others. Max, as well, is doing a wonderful job, and I want to encourage you and dare you today. Use your greatness to bring out the greatness in others. Share some Christmas spirit. The people you share with won't regret it, and neither will you. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm going to say Merry Christmas, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Joe Knows South Lake would like to thank the following sponsors.